call this, Don, come on. I'll call this meeting of the Board of Franklin County Commissioners, February 2nd, 2022. Janet with the roll call.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Present.
Chair Dunn.
Present.
Vice Chair Dickinson.
Present.
Commissioner Waymer.
Present.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's nobody here for
I know it was
vacation.
supposed to, I don't think you made it, so.
The public comment or correspondence, Derek?
No, sir. Thanks, Roy.
Public comment today?
We have one public comment.
A citizen desiring to speak on an item not on the agenda may do so at this time. Discussion is limited to 5 minutes, and the commission will not take action or discuss items at this time. Discussion should be limited to matters of county commission business, and public comment is not permitted in regard to personnel matters or on pending legal matters. Items introduced in a public comment may become agenda items at a later date. Morning, Norman.
Norman Wookie, Ottawa, Kansas. I'm disappointed in the way our county is managed. Improvement is order, as I see that there are problems caused by the lack of management. In my experience in the workforce, people were managed to get the job done. People were cross-trained to fill essential jobs. When there was a shortage of people in essential jobs, people immediately filled a position to get the job done. Good management decisions were expected. One example of poor management happened to me a few weeks ago. I took a large truck to the transfer station on a warm day as it had rained. Pardon me. The transfer station was open and trash trucks went in and out, and a sign stated no public admittance. That didn't add up. I wasted a day. A rug was on the bottom of the truck bed, frozen the next day as it got very cold. My family runs businesses. I question, why were they not cross-trained to fill that essential job? Changes need to be made in this county. There are seasonal jobs, you may probably know. Businesses lay off people for efficiency. I'm not recommending that. Management needs to manage. That's their job. That episode caused a hardship as the truck is essential for us getting our job done. Someone dropped the ball, or at least fumbled the ball. Expect more from your people and service. Thank you.
Okay. Consent agenda, we have claim vouchers of $555,107.54. Payroll, amount of $1,235,858.16. And the January 26, 2022 minutes. Here, motion to
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Stottlemyre.
Yeah.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson.
Yes?
Commissioner Waymer.
Yes.
Chair Dunn.
yes. Okay, for our agenda and business items, we're going to move number 3 and number 4 to the top. Number 3 is consider approving work to replace the fire system in the jail and district court. Brandon?
Morning.
Morning.
Our fire system for the jail and
It also covers the district court. We had a data card which covers multiple devices, smoke detectors, pull stations, go bad in that panel. It's a pretty old panel anyway, but with this device not working, we've got a number of smoke detectors and pull stations in the jail and in the district court that are not functioning properly. So one of the challenges we're running into is getting a new card is $7,000 to $10,000, somewhere in there. Again, it's already a dated system, and there's multiple cards in there. So if we replace this one, we might have another one fail pretty quick. In addition to that, there's only one company. This is a proprietary panel, so there's only one company that can install and program the panel to accept that new card, and they're unresponsive right now. I've just been unable to get a hold of them. I've talked with somebody with the company, but they're not the one that can really help us. So we've got an issue and nobody to fix it. So what I've done is I've talked with Atronic Alarm, who already does a lot of our inspections and a lot of other work with our fire system. They provided a quote to replace the panel in the jail. It would be a totally new system. They would separate the district court from the jail system, which really should happen anyway. So they would provide another panel for the district court, and then they would provide better communication with the old courthouse to the jail system. So if there was an alarm in the old courthouse, it would tell the jail staff something is going on so that they can respond a little bit quicker than a monitoring company might be able to. Let me know, call the fire department, whatever it may be. So I've got the quote from Atronic Alarm here. If we're not going to move forward with doing it right now, I didn't want to state what their bid was if we were going to, put this out, but I've got this here for you.
So obviously, this is going to be above my spending authority of $10,000, and typically in those situations, our purchasing policy mandates that we get bids. However, there is an exception to our purchasing policy that basically says in emergency situations or exigent circumstances that we can waive that and just go ahead and accept a bid. I feel like because we are dealing with a fire alarm system, I don't know that it's something we want to waste a lot of time on. Brandon has good rapport with Atronic Alarm. They do work for us. Their customer service is good. So I am inclined to recommend that we accept this. But again, if we're going to put it out to bid, it wouldn't be fair for us to make public what Atronic Alarm's bid is. So if you guys are comfortable waiving the purchasing policy, which we do from time to time, this board has done it, then certainly we'll publicly announce what the quote is and you guys can make your decision at that time. Would you be comfortable with that?
I think there's a lot of local companies that are going to be fighting
That's
to
exactly
do
right.
bids. I would be comfortable with it.
I don't have a problem with it. I think it is an item that's just pretty narrowly taken care of. And if it's somebody we've worked with before and we trust, I don't have a problem with it.
Colt, you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is an emergency because you don't want your fire alarm system not function when you need it, so it's important. You need a vote on this.
Well, let Brandon go ahead and discuss the
Go ahead,
quote
Brandon.
and then, yeah.
Yeah. So the quote for all that work that I just mentioned, new panel in the jail, this also gives us all new devices. They need to do that when they update the panel, all new smoke detectors and everything throughout. So that comes out to $34,701.60 to get us 2 new fire panels. And that will provide monitoring for the district court, which would be very helpful. So there are some recurring monthly monitoring fees For some of those buildings, that comes out to $158 monthly that we'll be paying to have that monitored. We do that in, this building is monitored, and there's other buildings in town that are monitored as well, so that's nothing new.
Not as bad as I thought it could be.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, really.
I was anticipating, that it might be a lot more than that.
Any other questions of Brandon?
Sounds like something we need to get done. I make a motion to approve the bid from Atomic.
Got a motion?
Second.
Have a second?
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yeah.
Chair Dunn?
Yes. Next item is the visitor center, the HVAC system. Go ahead, Brandon, go ahead.
Yeah, so for this, as you all know, we were considering putting a HVAC system on the second floor of the visitor center. So I've got a quote here from Adamson Brothers to do that work. You want to handle this the same way? Are we that we did the other one? I mean, I don't want to.
Well, Adamson Brothers is typically don't they basically do all of our HVAC related
They
work?
do. And when we do bid things, they are the lowest. Every time that we've done it, yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
This is another one. We can put this out to bid, but every single time we've done it, Adamson Brothers has won. I wouldn't say that this is any kind of emergency at all. It's more just, we don't know what the lead time is on this equipment, and I know we're all, probably none more than me, anxious for this project to get completed, and so I am inclined again to recommend that we go ahead and just accept Adamson Brothers' bid, given our immense rapport with them.
We've had some, so that's not true, like down at the jail, who's the fellow that was on planning commission? Brandon Livingston's been, he's done quite a bit. On this one, I think we probably ought to bid it. There's a lot of folks locally that would like to do the work, and there has been others, so.
Sure.
I'd be in favor of bidding it, as opposed to approving it today.
Other questions of Brandon?
Well, if you guys are inclined to bid it, then we'll just pull this item and we'll put an RFP out, and that's.
As much as I would like to see progress on this,
You like to get bidded?
How long does it usually take to get?
Well,
between
Brandon's
now
gonna-
and a bid opening?
Brandon's gonna be busy the next couple days, so, I
Get that put
think,
together though. Usually about a month or so is kind of what we try
By
to.
the time you open the bid?
Give everybody time to make it out to the pre-bid and put together their quotes and all of that, so, yeah.
So I guess the motion would be to,
we don't
Need a
need,
motion?
we don't need a motion this
Need a
morning.
motion for a
Yeah,
bid.
we can just
okay,
call this a good discussion. Brandon will get an RFP put together. We'll get it published and get the timeline started, and we'll be back roughly in a month, which is absolutely no issue at all.
okay.
So, all right?
Okay.
No,
Thanks,
thank you,
Brandon. Brandon, do you have any kind of update to give while you're up here?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, we are on track to start the flooring in this building tomorrow. Campione will be on site tomorrow to get started on this room and the restrooms, and then they're just going to start working their way down through the main hallway. So this area will be done during the day, and then when they start in the main hallways, that'll be all at night. So shouldn't be too disruptive to anyone in the middle of the night. So, but yeah, that's all I've got. That project's getting going, so we're excited to see that one done.
And are you guys, I mean, I know this storm's just getting started, but are you able to keep up reasonably well with keeping the walks clear?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We've cleaned this building. We've done twice. We've done this property twice, and if you go out there now, it looks like we haven't touched it. So it's coming down pretty quick, but we're still rolling, just going building to building, keeping up with it. Looks like it's supposed to taper off here about noon, 1 o'clock, something like that. So we should be able to catch up after that.
And it's been, time flies, it's been maybe a couple years now, but the county purchased a piece of equipment. I feel like I saw you pull it in on a trailer this morning. How has that been? And
That's been a game changer. I can't speak highly enough of that equipment. It's made our job so much easier, so much faster.
you describe for the board what it is?
Yeah, so this is really it's a commercial lawnmower where the deck would be in the front, but we took the deck off and put a brush on the front. And so we turn that thing on and we can just brush all that snow off. We've also got a plow attachment should we need it, but so far we really haven't had a need for the plow. So we have we ended up last year or so, or the year before, we added a cab to that. We found out that brush without a cab creates another challenge. You get covered in snow. But yeah, it's been a really great piece of equipment for the sidewalks, especially. It fits on there perfect and cleans everything off really well.
Janet could probably speak to this better than I can, but not too long ago, we used to send custodians out with shovels and just shovel the entire sidewalk around the courthouse. And you think about how much time you save now. That was a good purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. There was, for a little while, a few years ago, the custodians were helping out and just created a lot of manpower to get things done, but now we got myself and one other person. We've been doing that for the last couple of years, and it's worked out pretty well.
That's great.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon. Okay, David, consider approval of tire. Everything all right?
Like to replenish our stocks. We're a little worried that tire is not only down the 3 tiers of this order is a little bit ordinarily. Trying to get it early. It's not utilize it through the
Okay, this first one is, for Heartland Tire is $13,006.88, and Pops Tires is $44,421.51.
Make a motion to approve the tires for the vendors in front of us.
Second. Any other discussion? Janet?
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yeah.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Dunn.
Yes. Okay, Derek, do you want to take this next one?
Yeah, so you'll recall back on December 22nd, you guys approved a resolution which allowed Franklin County to join nationwide its litigation involving the opioid epidemic. That resolution was based on a template that the Kansas Association of Counties provided. And basically every county that joined the epidemic used that resolution. Well, we found out last week from KAC that it didn't include all of the language that was needed in order to effectively join this litigation. And so they sent a revised template out. It's very similar. It just adds a section about the county and its residents incurring at least $500 in expenses as a result of the opioid epidemic. I've got Sheriff Richards here. He could absolutely tell you that the county has suffered more than $500 worth of damage due to opioids. And so this is really, we've done this. This is just about passing this new resolution, and that will allow us. The reason we're joining is these pharmaceutical companies are settling these cases, and there's expected to be large amounts of funds that could be made available to us for this community to help install programming and help battle the epidemic at a local level. And so would answer any questions that you have, but just looking to pass the new resolution here. Janet would have to give you the number. Is this what?
It's gonna be 4.
4, okay. So it'd be resolution 22-04.
Yeah, I just heard on the news that the pharmaceuticals were selling for $26 billion.
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of money to go around, more than $500 for Franklin County.
yeah.
You want to say anything on this? Yeah.
I would tell you, we have had we've had some opioid deaths in our county. Anytime that you have those type of responses, these expenses are not just taking care of someone, but it includes EMS, it includes all the law enforcement response, and we have all of those things. And then all of our test kits, everything that we've had to do in response to the opioid crisis, like we carry Narcan on our staff does because of the hazards of that. And as I shared here a few months ago, we actually had to use that when we were assisting Osage County. So it is a major thing, and it has an impact even in our communities here. So, and it's not just Ottawa, it's that other areas of Franklin County as well. So we have been impacted, and I think this is a good way to help offset some of the costs that we've incurred because of that. Does that answer your questions, Roy?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch base on it.
Yeah.
If I could just give an update, Derek Schmidt, the Attorney General, was at our local government day last week and gave an update on this opioid, the lawsuits, and they've already received a very large, I think it's $100 million that Kansas has received just from the consulting company, which will be split. And the way they're going to do it is 25% goes to the municipalities and 75% will be available for, like, Elizabeth Layton Center to get grants for programs pertaining to, and they're going to have very large ones coming down by the end of this year. So definitely, we want to be a part of it. Definitely.
Yeah.
A specific action will be approved in resolution number 2204, approving Franklin County to join this statewide litigation regarding the opioid epidemic.
Motion to approve.
Second. Janet, roll call.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Okay.
Chair Dunn.
Yes. Okay, staff reports. Do you have anything else? Derek?
Yeah, thanks, Roy. I don't have much. I will say that appreciate and admire all of the work that goes into weather events like the one we're having now. Yesterday, Tom Winter, new emergency management director, put together a meeting that involved the sheriff's office, Public Works, City of Ottawa, EMS, numerous parties. Just a lot of work goes into planning for storms like this, and I don't know that the public always sees or appreciates that. So certainly appreciate that. I know David and his staff had a game plan, and certainly he can give you an update on that, but certainly believe that it's been executed flawlessly. I do want to call special attention to his road and bridge superintendent, Jeff Welton, who my understanding is spent last night in a truck himself driving and love leading by example. And Jeff hopping in a truck overnight, pulling an overnight shift to help ensure that all of us have safe roads to drive on is definitely appreciated. I think Casey's got a bit of a COVID update. Our numbers are coming down, and I think that they legitimately are, but I also think that it's skewed because we've been pushing everyone towards at-home testing. And if you test at home, regardless of your results, there's a better chance that we're never going to get notified of whether or not you're positive. And so, just had our COVID call yesterday and talking with Dr. Bud Ransom. I think we are all cautiously optimistic that this Omicron wave is coming back down, but we're not out of it yet. And so I may have just said everything you were.
I don't have anything to add to that.
Okay, fair enough. Well, and that's all I have, Roy, so thank you.
I do have a question to Casey. I heard on the news last night from a contributor that says there are tens of thousands of kids in the hospital right now across the country. Would that be accurate?
Would that be accurate?
Tens of thousands of
Oh,
kids.
I don't know about that. I know that Children's Mercy is full and a lot of their, I just know from personal people that have been at the hospital that some of like their orthopedic, rooms in the hospital from kids that were getting surgery on something was being overrun with COVID patients. So there is a lot of kids that are suffering from COVID this round, and it's causing multi-inflammatory syndrome in a lot of kids. That's really all I know. I couldn't tell you if those numbers are true or not.
This first time I heard such a statement like that, and before I thought the kids could handle the virus a lot better than older folks. And
Yeah, it's definitely making
weren't being hospitalized, but
kids
maybe I'm
sicker.
wrong. But
Yeah. I will add that Moderna was FDA approved this week. So we have another vaccine that's fully approved.
Looks like they're getting close to a 5 and under vaccine also.
Right, they're talking about sending that off for all that it has to go through for emergency use for 5 and under. Yep.
we're still doing testing and stuff at the health department then?
Yep, the health department's still testing. We have seen this week that tests are starting to come back quicker. We were at like 3 to 5 days and really more like 5 days from the state getting test results back to us. But now it's about 2 to 3 days, so it's getting a lot faster. But we're still giving anyone the option to do an at-home test or a PCR test. And up until yesterday, I know a lot more people were choosing to do the at-home test. However, now they're letting people know our PCR tests are coming back a lot faster, and so several have opted for, we have a saliva test that's coming back in about 24 hours, which is still a PCR test, so.
Do people call in and say, hey, I tested at home and I'm positive? Do they do that?
Yes, but not many. We have a way that they can give us those results on our website, or they can call in and they get those instructions with the at-home test, encouraging them to tell us their results, but we only get about 15 a day, and we're giving several more tests than that, so.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a shot clinic coming up, do we not?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the date, February 20th maybe? We're gonna put information out about it today, but we will be giving first and second doses and boosters at that clinic. So if anybody's interested in getting a first or second dose or getting a booster, they can call the health department and we'll schedule appointments just like we have in the past. It'll be right here in the commission chambers.
For all ages or just?
For all,
or
no,
18
I
and
think
over?
it's just adults. We do continue to give some pediatric doses as we as there's the need when people call in, but the need has kind of, the people that wanted it have gotten it, and the need has kind of,
And it's still available.
it's still available. Yep.
If anybody had any questions about COVID, call the health department. Is that accurate?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, yep.
Any related question about that?
About COVID, you can call the health department.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you,
Anything else?
Casey.
You're welcome.
Sheriff, anything else?
I want to start by saying thank you for moving forward with the fire suppression stuff that you're talking about and that you approved for the jail and district court. But just to put everybody's mind at ease, we still have camera systems and we still have staff on hand. So if something happens, they're there to smell it and see it and to take action. So we're still doing our part, so we're not putting people's lives at risk there, just so that you're aware. The storm response that we've had that we talked about a little bit, we've got extra people ready. When it's a situation like this, we need to make sure that we have people kind of spread out around the county because it is a little bit slower response. But fortunately, so far, and hopefully I'm not just going to kick myself for saying this, but so far we haven't had any major problems on our roadways or with any of our responses. So we're ready for it, and hopefully we're kind of all dressed up with nowhere to go. Hopefully that will hold true through the rest of this. Also, I just wanted to address, in case any of you get contacted by anyone in the public, every now and then I get phone calls in my office that someone has a family member or a loved one in jail and they are concerned that somebody in their cell has a nasty cough, they got COVID, and there's nothing that we're not doing anything about it. I want to assure each of you and the public that we still have our protocols in place. We're still doing all of our quarantine time. People have symptoms, they're getting tested. The two in particular that I got contacted this last week, those people were okay with being tested a second time. They're still negative. So we're not putting anyone at risk. So I want to assure you as well as the public that we're taking all the precautions we can. A lot of people have a cough and it doesn't mean it's COVID. And that holds true in jail just as it does anywhere else. So, and then the last thing that I have, and then I'll take any questions you have, is that wanted to let you guys know that yesterday we had a meeting, Monday, I met with the county administrator and the HR director, and I just wanted to say thank you to them for their willingness to kind of hear us out on some of our staffing issues and kind of brainstorm some ideas to say, hey, what can we look at this? And I understand it's not unique to the sheriff's office. It's a Franklin County. It's a bigger deal than that and the workforce. And but Sari and Derek met with Derek and I, or with Kyle and I, and we were able to kind of come up with a few different ideas and everyone's trying to do some little out of the box thinking on staffing. And so I just wanted to let you guys know we're doing that, and your administrator and HR director are very open to all that as well. So I will take any questions that you guys have for me.
Just for perspective, and I appreciate Jeff saying that, but I would say legitimately 95% of my time is either COVID or employee retention. I mean, that's just what I'm doing right now. And sadly, COVID may wane, and we hope it does, but employee retention, I think I've sent all of you, the 5 of you, my department heads, article just describing how it's a national issue, it's a global issue, but it's something we're gonna have a lot of discussions. Me and the 5 of you leadership team about employee retention. Appreciate Jeff and Kyle's willingness to think outside the box as well, but that's the single biggest challenge facing our organization, and bar none. So we'll be talking about it a lot in the upcoming years.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Dustin, do you have anything? I have a question about Approved Perfect or whatever that system is now for emails.
The one that's keeping all of our emails hostage.
Proofpoint.
Approved one or
Yes, all it is a new spam filtering application that we made the migration to last year during our renewal of our former product. They really did us wrong. I don't have a prettier way to put that. They tried to increase our cost a little over ninefold without any notice. So we negotiated that down to about half that cost. And I informed them then that it was not my intention to do business with them any longer based off of how they handled that situation. So we went out looking through the last year of what we wanted to do. There's a couple that really rose to the top as what I would call the industry leaders in that market. With the solution that we selected, Proofpoint, that came in below what our former was going to charge us, and we have additional features and capabilities with it. Just in the less than a week now being on that system, I'm seeing where it's catching a lot more than what we were getting. I'm seeing a lot better classifications as far as what type of spam we're getting. It's allowing some of that control to be handed back to employees where they're getting the daily digest and be able to choose what they want to receive and what they want to continue to leave blocked. So it is quite a bit more modern than the solution we had in place for the last 10 years, but it is new, and that is a change for everybody. Yesterday's issue with the mail flow is actually a configuration on our mail server. It wasn't anything to do with that solution. It was a setup issue on our side.
I got like several emails, and finally at the end of the day, I got the good email that.
I would say about 6 p.m. on Tuesday, I believe it was Monday. We were still routing mail through our old solution because we hadn't figured out the configuration issue yet, and it expired at 6 p.m. on Monday, and that's when we started having the mail flow issue. So whenever I came in and then noticed that we had the mail flow issue, because if I don't get messages, I don't tend to worry about it. I say thank you and move on. But after about 8 o'clock hit, and I realized that we had a mail flow issue, we started working on that, opened our cases up. Their support was great to work with, and was able to get that resolved, and all those messages that had been held up started getting requeued and processed throughout the remainder of the day. I think it was around 2 p.m. whenever I checked, and there wasn't any more that had been queued up, and everything had been delivered by that point. So time delays, but eventually everything got there.
Okay, I just wanted to get a little update because I got so many of those emails.
And if you'd like to sit down and go through how to work with that digest or anything else, I'll be glad to do that with you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
David?
Okay, so fortunately, the snow didn't come in last night like we had anticipated, but it did give us an opportunity to hit our roads with additional salt and sand material. So all of our hard surface roads have been hit 2 to 3 times over the last couple of days and then last night, and we did have a crew that worked through the night. And then day crew is out now, and they've actually got a little snow to push now, and so they're working on that. We'll continue to run 2 shifts through the duration of this storm. Hopefully this morning is it, but the weather forecast is indicating that might be through tomorrow morning. So we'll keep at it. Our blade crews on our gravel roads, they'll get started once the snow reaches about 3 to 4 inches. So I would expect them probably this afternoon to get out and start working on that. Where drifting is going to be the biggest issue with the wind and the cold temperatures and the type of snow that we're getting. So we'll continue to work on that. Derek mentioned Jeff Welton working the overnight shift. Our solid waste superintendent, Pat Campbell, he was responsible for plowing the parking lot at 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning. So all of our, we put everybody to work on these sorts of events and try to do the best we can. A couple of quick project updates. The local road safety plan, if you recall, we put in for a grant, gosh, it's been over a year ago now, for KDOT to, they've got a consultant, they're trying to get all the counties in Kansas to participate in this. And the consultant is going to evaluate all of our hard surface roads and then all of our arterial roads. They're going to analyze crash data and look for safety features that we have and things that we could add and recommend projects to us at the end of it. Well, the project finally kicked off. We had our kickoff meeting last Wednesday, and we'll have monthly updates, monthly meetings going forward. Here in a few months, they'll be back, well, sometime this month or next month, to travel the roads and do their analysis. And then in the May-June timeframe, we will organize a safety workshop that will invite various stakeholders from the county to attend. So as more information comes out on that, I'll let you know. The project out at the county yard, the shop area, I received updated concept plans. I have asked for a few more revisions. Once those come back, we'll schedule a study session to run through that with you all before we take any additional steps there. And then finally, on the C&D landfill project, we did another, as part of that overall project, we wanted to see how our compactor was impacting our C&D operation. Due to the volumes that we were getting, our compaction rates were not very good, and we wanted to see, well, we put the piece of equipment into rotation, how is that helping our situation? And we have increased our tons compacted per cubic yard, which was at 0.39 tons before we bought the compactor, and it's back up to 0.58, which is it's a big jump. And so that, according to the calculations, has added almost 2 years of life to our existing landfill, which is what we want to see. That's why we purchased this piece of equipment. And so as we go forward here, I expect that number to rise even a little bit more, because we were fortunately just able to hire a third equipment operator out there. And so that piece of equipment will be in use on a more regular basis than it was before. And so that number should continue to rise. So that's a good deal for all of us. So that project continues to move forward as well. And as things like this come before us or come to me, I'll be sure to pass them on. And that's all I've got.
What's compaction if you had it solid on something like your trash? You're still in like 1.7 or something probably, right?
Say that again?
What is, if you had it completely compacted, 100%?
Yeah.
Is that like 1.7?
Probably somewhere in there. Yeah.
When we didn't have the volumes before, we were getting about 1,050 pounds per cubic yard, and then it fell to 700 something, almost 800, and now it's back up to 1,150
Yeah,
pounds.
it's over what we were, the compaction is better than what we were getting when we had low volumes and lots of time.
A lot of it depends on what they haul you. Of course, if they don't haul you a lot of rubble and
Right.
stuff that's just naturally heavy, it's not gonna get up there, but they think 1,300 pounds is absolutely the highest you could get.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables that go into that. The good news is that it seems to be achieving the effect that we were hoping that it would. So that's great news, so.
Part of what's gonna keep us from ever getting really high, the real nature of where we are. People here don't haul bricks and concrete, things that themselves are 3,000 some pounds a yard. They just don't go into the landfill, so we're not gonna probably be able to get that top amount. It's just not possible. They end up going in landfill,
Right.
farmers' ditches, but.
Yep.
That's good. That big fancy machine's working pretty good for us. That's
Yes, sir.
great. Want to iterate, like what Derek said, David, appreciate what the crews are doing out there and trying to take care of the roads. I know the east-west roads are going to be a challenge with this wind and that sort of thing.
We're thankful that the schools went ahead and chose to close today. That helps from a traffic impact perspective, keeps people off the roads a little more and allows us to have a positive impact on the roads.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chet, Janet, you have anything? Commissioners, Don, would you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, I did attend the Wellsville City meeting last Wednesday night. They had some good and bad things on the agenda for them. Like there was a couple of good things. They have been approached by the chamber and the health coalition wanting to work with the city and develop a community coordinator position and have the city help fund the position. And they've decided they're going to give it 90 days to meet with each other. A couple of the board members will meet with the health coalition, the chamber representatives, and it's they want to. The city thinks it's a good thing. They just want to see how it's laid out better. They want a job description. They want a lot of things like that they should be looking for. So that sounds like the chamber has been trying to get they have a part-time person now, and that person kind of would fill in as that community. So we kind of make all three entities trying to make a more robust person for an office and so forth. So I'll let you know as that goes on. They just brought up to date a lot of traffic standards to the sheriff, the police department, uniform. And as you know, they're building if you all know where the new dollar store is, right there on 33, right after you cross over the bridge. And back behind there used to be a oil company supply, and the city has bought that building back there. And they're putting their police department back there, and they're remodeling it and designing it. Well, they applied for a grant to do that, and it came back. They got told the other day they took the average salary for city residents of Wellsville, and they were $36 a year over the number that fell within qualifications for the grant. So that was kind of a sad deal on that part, but they're going to keep working on it, keep moving. And also Pat up there, if you all know Pat Burden, he's their building inspector and kind of their zoning person. They just presented it the other night, just something, I don't know if any of you have heard about it or know about it. He's kind of been keeping me in touch, and he was brought it more to the board last night. There's a company trying to work a proposal to build a new athletic facility in Wellsville. And if they do, it's almost a $7 million project. And they'll extend 6th Street that goes by the dollar store and the police station. It'll be on back. I've got the maps and everything here if you're all interested. It sounds like it could be a good thing I guess you look at it this way, in Wellsville. But I guess things are moving down, and this would be quite a size, like 36,000 square feet building. They have 4 gymnasiums in it, 4 full-size gymnasiums that would be for volleyball and basketball. It'll have a 6,900 includes office space, restrooms, and a 3,000 square foot training room, weight room and exercise room and so forth. So it sounds like a heck of a deal if it all pans out. They're still in their legal part of the whole thing. It's not written in blood yet, but they did bring it out to the public at least the other night that it's in the process of being worked on. So sounds like it could be a good deal for the community. Paul mentioned the other day in the deal he has coming up in March over Miami County. That's economic, but that's the deal we're working with the Lake Region RC&D, and we're helping sponsoring that with Paul. Sounds like it's going to be a good deal. Another one we're working on, it'll be over in Miami County too in April, and it'll be a economic deal we're going to bring in some different people for nonprofits to come in and do a day-long training session for nonprofits. So it's like a $30 charge, I think, and that include a whole day session and their meal too. So, and this other one would be completely paid for, the first one, and be sponsored by the Economic Development Council and RC&D. So that's all I have.
Hey, Don, it's my understanding that on that athletic facility, And certainly, I think it's for the benefit of the citizens of Wellsville and the surrounding area, but also my understanding is they're building it so that they can host like
Yes.
AAU basketball
Oh, yeah.
events and volleyball.
I think that's a big
tournaments.
principal thing. It's the school can kind of, and whatever, but it's basically like this same company owns a big one in Overland Park too for big tournaments and they'll, yeah, that's the main, it's way bigger than what the city needs for some of their uses. It'll be a competitive, and Wellsville does have a competitive Midwest Juniors, a big competitive volleyball competitive deal there already, and they kind of cramp it into the school all the time, and this will give them a big deal. And there's a lot of these competitive teams have their own complexes around the city, and that would give the city of Wellsville and Franklin County an opportunity to have a competitive facility. And that might, when businesses move in too, be impressive to a company moving in that they have exercise building and a big facility for athletics. So it could be good for everybody.
Well, and those of you with kids that are old enough and grandkids that have ever been to those tournaments, you realize how many people come. And so I think Burt's is probably already printing money, but you just think about how many people that will come in and stop at that gas station.
Oh, yes.
Now shop in
Oh,
Franklin
I can't
County.
imagine what that dollar store will do right there where you turn to go.
Yeah. Like-
And it could spur something else to go right there on that corner also, I think.
Everything that I have heard about Wellsville, like they are on the cusp of exploding up there. Like, and that is so exciting for Franklin County, just all of the prospective investors that they have. Like that's an exciting time in that part of the county for sure.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Don.
I don't have anything wrong.
Diane?
I had gotten the minutes from the December meeting of Prairie Paws. They actually ended the year in a good position. They got a very large grant in November, someplace that they've never gotten a grant before. I think it was over $150,000. And so it gave them the money to be able to, and then they also reduced some of their employee costs. So they ended up in a very good position at the end of the year. I did go to the local government day last Wednesday, and I did not get to meet with any of our legislators from Franklin County, but I did get to meet with other legislators. And then the thing with Derek Schmidt, and then I came home and I called Elizabeth Layton Center and told them, because they had told us, if you have facilities, make sure that they're prepared. And I called her and she said, I had heard rumors about a lawsuit, but this is more information than I ever had before. And so she is getting together with her team so that when they're ready to be able to submit for grant money, then, we might as well have it in Franklin County. And definitely, if we can have programs to help people that have addiction. The City of Ottawa had a 2.5-hour study session on Monday. And some exciting things that are coming down. We're going to have a drive-through Starbucks. And one of our auto dealerships is moving, and then in a few years, they're talking about building an additional auto dealership. And the City of Ottawa was talking about maybe putting in a solar project as a way to diversify their electric production. Just some exciting things are coming down, and we'll see how, if they end up meeting today, where all those go. And then I did sign up for the weekly legislative update every Friday that they're doing that to kind of give us an idea of what kind of bills that are coming through the House and the Senate. I think it's probably better to call my legislators before a bill is passed instead of after a bill is passed. They kind of are giving us a heads up. One of the big ones is probably going to pass is the sales tax, not having sales tax on food, although they think that maybe the Senate one, they're going to include the city, the county sales tax, that they're wanting to do an amendment and say none of us can charge sales tax, so that's all things that we need to keep track of. But there really wasn't anything that I felt that was pending, but I'll kind of keep everybody informed, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Cole?
Attended the Elizabeth Layton Center Board meeting, which is mostly a annual end of the year recap from last year. And then they also had a board reorganization meeting and appointed the chair of that board. So not a lot to report other than just annual business.
Okay, thank you. I attended the economic development meeting yesterday morning, and a lot of what Don just said came up in the meeting. Casey Lytle talked about the sports building up there and the police station going in there east of K-33. And he was talking about trying to get a hold of KDOT and see what they're going to do with K-33 going through there. They're taking a extra long time making the bridge over the railroad, they thought, and they wonder what KDOT's going to do on the bridge over I-35 and make it a little better, because all that activity going on up there in Wellsville. They're talking about not only the sports building, but a possible strip mall and apartment complexes too for housing. So there is a lot going on in Wellsville, and the apartment deal, they're talking about that in Ottawa too, having apartment complexes with, that would rent for $800 to $1,000 a month rent, and that sort of thing. Would be more affordable housing. Also talked about their membership. It's up about 50% of the members have renewed their membership, and it's going pretty well as far as getting numbers in for the economic development. Paul did mention about being a member of Team Kansas now, or joining Team Kansas, which is a way to get maybe funds for entrepreneurship and also and promotions for development and seed money for development too in a person's area. One main thing that did come up is getting natural gas out to Proximity Park. They're talking with Kansas Gas Service as far as extending a line somewhere either from Ottawa or from their main line that goes near there to get natural gas, which would be another incentive for manufacturing or any kind of development out there at Proximity Park to make it just another benefit by coming here to Proximity Park is having natural gas available. So that's a pretty big thing to try to get that established out there. I did mention about the Victory Dodge dealership, building a new dealership west of Holiday Inn Express. I think that's where they said they were, but also retain the current dealership building for other activities of their dealership. So, and that's a new deal out there, south end, and also Starbucks plan on building between McDonald's and the Japanese steakhouse place, new Starbucks out there. So that's got a lot going on around the area, even though this time of COVID and stuff's moving along. So that's a good thing. And of course, Paul talked about the day on the job in conjunction with Career Day. It's kind of one of the same things this year. They're going to have 75 vendors and that sort of thing. And they're going to bring in all the students, juniors and seniors from all over Franklin County to attend that there at Ottawa High School. And it's going to be about 600 and the juniors will be in the morning, the seniors in the afternoon, or vice versa. And like Donna said, they're help sponsoring the meal, and FCDC's help sponsoring the meal for that day on the job or career day coming up on March 22nd. So it's kind of nice to have Paul out here in the annex where we can talk to him all the time, and he gives us updates on a regular basis on a lot of this stuff. So that's nice to have him here in the annex. So anyway, economic development is going on, and still getting interest in Proximity Park all the time and inquiries and stuff. So one of these days we're going to get a hit and something's going to happen out there. That's about all I have. Anybody else have anything today? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
We're adjourned.